All right, how's it going? Yeah, I'll be a little beyond, which it doesn't normally. Hello. Man, I need to lose my. We go off camera, just. Is it about your case? Yes. All right, I need to call the docket first. Okay. Sure. Thank you. Mhm. All right, everyone, if you'll be seated, please, I'm going to call the docket. When I call the docket, please stand and let me know you are here. Otherwise, I'm going to assume you're not here, and a warrant may be issued for your arrest. In custody, we have Ashley Hernandez. Thank you. Bianca Angulo, Alejo Aguirre, Dii Yoro. Thank you. Ralph Aresi, Ramonique Quarles. In custody, we have Jose Villarreal, Tyler Ashbaugh, Juan Aramba, Christian Smith. In custody, we have Rudy Gonzalez, Camila Galan, Gus Gyos, custody, Willie Cunningham, Claudia Aaron. Thank you. Daniel Ramirez, Gabriel Alamanza, Angelo Rosado, Chasty Natal.
Present, Judge, we'll confirm.
Thank you. William Jones. In custody, we have Edward Rodriguez, Daryl Payne, Marcos Trammell.
Present.
In custody, we have John Horton, Dominique Hazenbuehler, Jairus Deek, Jesus Garza, custody, Kevin Luna, custody. Is there anyone who's present and your name was not called? Yes, what's your name? I'm sorry, the first name? Do you have a case number or SID number?
SID number 9203446.
Do you know who your attorney is? Have you had contact with your attorney?
Yeah.
All right, just give us a moment. Anyone else?
Your Honor, my client was in custody, I believe he was set today, John Horton.
Yes, it's been called.
I missed that, I'm sorry.
No problem. All right, everyone, these are the rules of the court. Follow these rules and the court will run smoothly on Friday's Eve. Don't follow these rules, it's going to get bogged down a little bit. So, number one, which attorneys never pay attention to, so I need y'all to pay close attention to this. When we're on the record, do not talk behind the court reporter if you have a client who's in the box. All you have to do is ask the deputy to move your client to this end, and they will. How do you know we're on the record? Because the style of the case will be called. Confer with the state. Confer with your client. Confer with probation if your client is on probation or if you're here for a sentencing. Once you have done all of those things and you are ready to approach, just ask the clerk or coordinator to pull your file. Have a seat. They will pull your file. I will call you in the order of appearance. There's no need to form a line staring at me because guess what? I don't have your file. And if I do have your file, you're not number one. The person who's standing before me is the person who's number one. The only exception to first come, first served in this court is if your client needs an interpreter. What do I mean by your client needs an interpreter? I mean, if your client wants to speak to the court in a language other than English, they will need an interpreter. So before you approach, let the clerk know you need an interpreter called down and just have a seat. Once you ask for an interpreter, do not leave the courtroom because we have a limited number of interpreters and they need to be in other courts. Once you ask the deputy to call your client out, if your client is an inmate, do not leave because for security reason, there are so few inmates that are allowed in the box. Now, if we do all these things, things will run smoothly. If you want things to run perfectly, have a smile on your face and please confer with kindness in your heart. Everyone, please confer.
Yes. You guys okay?
What? Give me 1 second. Just give me a name and I'll forget it if I take your.
No. Maybe this month, we shall see.
Yeah, there's some people that have fire and there's on the street from it,
Mhm.
and they took them a year and a half whether they even got started.
Ah. Well, you know, they say sometimes that it's better to have the house burned down as opposed to the flood, because then you have to deal with mold and all of that.
Saying they still have most, I think, but
Yes.
even after they started working on that.
And so they had to stop. So thank goodness that's done.
You living in a motel or a restaurant?
Oh, no, I'm in a hotel. Yeah, I've been there since August. Yeah, I mean, it's a good, you know what my mom says? My mom says, call it your vacation home. So I call it the vacation home.
I can't find their file. So I'm-
No. But I become apt at the microwave because at least they put a microwave in.
Yeah.
So,
When I was in where they had, I had iron, electric skillet
mhm.
on the microwave and the refrigerator. And that's why I was using that little electric. skillet.
Yeah.
It's okay. I need you. No, 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 go ahead. No, it's okay. 22-11-355. Or dot, it's like a ramen. Wall. And yeah, because it's the song. Okay, right, thank you. Right. Okay, I found your file.
Okay.
Who's here on Chastity Natal?
I am Judge. Come on, Chester. I'm waiting. Yeah.
And could you hand me a reset form, please?
Yes.
So in this case, we're here today to make sure that all discovery, so that's been done.
Yes.
As an offer.
Yes, Your Honor. In terms of, I
Everyone, please whisper.
think we're about just a week or two away, Judge, maybe even just a week. We had sent in a request to our investigator to follow up to get complainant contact, but been very difficult to reach. They were out for some medical reasons for about a week or two, Judge.
Mhm.
They're back as of this week. Marina is already on it for this week as well to kind of coordinate together with the investigator. So we would just ask for a little bit more time to kind of batten down the hatches on complainant contact, which will help inform a more appropriate offer to defense.
Judge, I'm fine with that. I've informed that I think the complaint is in Cuba. I'm starting a trial on Monday and the 437th. That'll last about 10 days. So if we could do maybe the third week in May.
All right. So what I was gonna do, if you all want to do it this way, I was gonna set a plea deadline date in 30 days. And you all can give them an offer off docket. Is
Absolutely.
everyone okay with that? So we'll do a plea deadline date of June 4th. Any objections to that
No,
date?
that works for me.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, so once I give you the reset form, you're excused. Do you have any questions about anything? All right, so Ms. Natal, what's gonna happen on June 4th, when you come to court, the state will have already tendered an offer, and on that, at that time, you'll need to let me know whether or not you're accepting the offer. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, I'll give you a reset form. Just give me a moment. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge. We appreciate it.
All right, who is here on Ramani Quarles? Thank you for dressing appropriately for court.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so possible DNA, that's what we're here for.
So Judge, I tried reaching out to that university detective. So far, we haven't heard anything back. We're requesting him for tomorrow. But aside from that, we've also found from the complainant, he's currently in TDCJ, so we're gonna request that he be brought to Bear County.
All right, so are you all requesting that he be brought to Bear County and then gonna talk to him, or y'all gonna talk to him beforehand?
We're gonna try and see if we can set up some type of Zoom call from the prison, but I'm not.
They don't
sure.
do
Yeah,
Zoom,
see, that was,
but they'll do phone calls.
and so see, that's something that we're gonna try and set up with through his family.
Okay. All right. I've had luck as a prosecutor doing that. It only took me 2 days. I just tell them, hey, it's an emergency, and they say, okay, but all right. You all are gonna have to have all the discovery done and have talked to your complainant by June 4th.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
when we come back on June 4th, discovery should be completed.
Yes, ma'am.
And then with the possible DNA,
Again, we haven't heard anything from the Universal City Detective. We're requesting him again for tomorrow.
all right. So if y'all don't hear anything from him, he needs to be subpoenaed to come to court and maybe bring whatever he has.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Well, the court, by June 4th, the court will have to.
All right. And then, are you employed?
Not currently, no, I was prior to me being arrested, but I actually do, the job that I had previously is waiting for me in Houston. They're all just.
Oh, no, are you from Bear County or no?
Well, I was about like 3 or 4
Yeah,
years
sure.
back. Yeah, but I.
Okay, let me just tell you where I'm going with this.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out whether or not it's appropriate for you to be on Zoom or not. If you lived in Houston, then I would allow you to report by Zoom. If you had employment where this was interfering with your employment, I would allow you to report by Zoom, and we'd do it over your lunch break or something.
Well, it kind of is.
Okay, what does that mean?
It kind of is interrupting like my employment just because of these court proceedings. It's I need to have full-time employment, and it's just been kind of hard being able to get that, knowing that I have this kind of hanging over my head.
Oh, well, I have no control over what's hanging over your head
Right.
per se. It's just this court hearing. So I'm gonna set it for June 4th. Is everyone in agreement to June 4th? All right, and Mr. Porter, if he is working or something at that time, he can appear by Zoom. All right, once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome. Claudia Aaron.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hi, thank you for dressing appropriately for court. All right, so where are we on the PTD mental health?
So I have sent multiple requests for information, haven't heard back from them. However, my client informs me, and they did initially say that she was phone screened on April 16th. She confirms that she attended that. She was told she was a good candidate. She was set up for an appointment on May 7th, but still in the future. And that after that, they anticipated it would hit the system by May 17th. So I have not confirmed with them yet, but I have been proactive in trying to get information from them. I just haven't received a response, but it seems to match up with what she's telling me as far as the April 16th screening.
All right, I'm gonna put you all down for May 20th. On May 20th, if we don't have an update on the screen, y'all need to make sure that somebody's here from mental health court to explain why.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, Your Honor, I just to let you know, I do have a trial setting that day, so it may be another attorney that's appearing for me.
That's fine.
Okay.
Just make sure they know.
Okay, thank you.
All right, once you sign you're welcome. Once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I wonder if I can need it to set it for that day.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Yeah.
Hello? Hello? Yes. Yes, hello. Yes,
Whenever you're done, Teresa has a question.
yes,
They want it changes, but I told you that's what you asked.
yes. Yes.
Okay, so on this side, this one was the one that he was at the jail and had to be transferred to the hospital.
Yes,
But getting ready to transfer him to the skilled nursing facility.
okay.
And I have a bunch of emails from staff and the attorney agreeing that it's okay for him to be reported to pretrial upon release from the nursing home or have the family reporting for him.
Oh,
You want to hang up with that? And
Yes.
then- Okay.
and then I'll have them, if you'll have them print out a B page for me, and I'll take
I
care of it.
wanted to bring that to you to show that reality.
All right, thank
Thank
you.
you.
All right, everyone, just give me a 5 minutes, please. Please be seated. Thank you.
Yes.
And Norma, we have someone here by the name of Lee Martinez. If you could
Yeah.
check on him.
He's actually on the docket, Judge. I told him he just needs to wait. They just didn't print out.
All right.
And I'm getting the files, well, they're pulling the file from the back. And I did email the, contact the advocate. Bring on the file.
Daryl Payne.
Yes, sir.
All right, so in this case, Mr. Munoz, the attorney asked that you be placed on both of those,
Yes, Your
on
Honor.
both cases.
Okay.
So this is going to be your attorney on both cases, and he understands the issues. And I've let him know, and the state knows about the documents that were presented, I believe, by your brother. So they have those, so they know what's going on, okay? All right, so where are we on the case?
Yes, Judge. In reference to my client, I believe there may be some potential competency issues.
Mhm.
We're requesting his matter be referred to Judge Carruthers for an informal inquiry to be conducted, Judge.
All right, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to let there be an informal inquiry because I think that's going to slow the process down much more.
Yes,
And based upon the documents that your brother gave to me, I don't think we need a formal inquiry. I'm just going to ask that one be ordered.
Great. Yes, Your Honor. We appreciate that.
Okay.
So it would be in order for a psychiatric evaluation to be done, Judge?
Yes. So, yes, no, he wants,
There is a, I just looked at the case to make sure that, Renee was gonna be listed as the first for the, attorney, and it seems like they took off Anthony Contrell and they appointed Elizabeth Wilson.
no, remove her. It's Renee Munoz.
Okay, I'm just letting you.
No objection, Your Honor. Glad to.
All right.
Um,
All right, and so do we have a deadline? Because I don't want him to just be sitting at the jail. Are you receiving is he receiving any type of treatment at the jail?
So Judge, in reference to that, I did reach out to Mr. Villegas. He's with ACOG at the jail as well, requesting a DID assessment to determine his level of IDD needs. So it's my hope that if it does foreseeably take long, his bonds are set at 1,000, each case at 2,000 total. I believe his brother may be able to post that upon us getting him set up with some services.
Okay.
So I'm gonna work to that end, Judge, and see maybe ACOG or Center for Healthcare Services can help.
All right, so then the next thing we'll do is we'll need a reset date, and maybe if you can talk to one of the doctors, maybe they can do an expedited competency for him.
Yes, Your Honor. And I do think that it is around 30 days, but I have no issue reaching out specifically. I guess the court would just like to appoint whichever one it goes through that system in terms of doing that. But if you guys had one in mind, there's a Dr. Marshall Smith that he's board certified in terms of psychiatry. And
Well, are you going to have Dr. Smith determine whether he's competent or not, or that's just for mitigation purposes?
I think I would just request for competency, Judge, but I don't know if it's in the interest of expediting if you wanted to name a certain one or just go through the regular process.
Oh, we can go through the regular process, but if you'll speak there, I think, well, you're aware of the doctors who are on the list.
Yes.
If you're able to call one and see if they can do it expedited. And if you want to file a motion to have it done that way, where they're paid that way, that may expedite things.
Yeah, that incentivizes it a little bit on there.
Yes. So if you want to do that, you can, but I'm going to recall this for June 4th, but we'll probably be back before June 4th. And if your brother bonds you out, Mr. Munoz, just make sure he appears in court.
Oh, definitely will, Your Honor. And if the psychiatrist is able to do the report and I get the findings, I'll surely notify the court in advance of that date as well. So I'm privy to that, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Payne, do you have any questions? All right, thank you. Tyler Ashbaugh. Good morning. How's it going?
It's going all right
All right, you're supposed to be on this side.
on this side. Okay.
Yeah. All right, so you're Mr. Ashbaugh?
Yes.
All right, thank you for dressing appropriately for court. All right, so today is plea deadline date, but I know that you were recently appointed, so I'll give you some more time.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
So I'm gonna extend your plea deadline date and I'll extend your plea deadline date for 1 month. At that time, you need to let the court know whether or not you're accepting the state's offer. All right.
And Judge, I know that you signed the order on Tuesday. It just hasn't been reflected in the district clerk's office yet. It still shows the prior attorney says his attorney records haven't been able to access discovery yet. I'll try to work that out with the clerk's office as soon as possible. So that I can
Oh, no,
access that.
it'll be worked out today.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
And there were also two motions to amend bond conditions, or I guess allowances, because he's on GPS full house arrest,
Mhm.
to do certain items that his previous attorneys filed, and I believe those were set for last Tuesday, but your courtroom was occupied.
Yes.
We're ready to go forward on those motions.
All right. Stan, are you ready?
Yes, Judge. And
All right, court is calling 2023 CR 10004, State of Texas versus Tyler James Ashbaugh. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
Defense?
Nathaniel Navy for Mr. Ashbaugh.
And are you Mr. Ashbaugh?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So we're here on a motion to modify bond conditions. Previously, the court allowed for modification for him to take, I think, his child to school. So defense, what are you asking for at this point in time?
Judge, my client and his fiance, who's here in the courtroom, they would like to get married. They do have a child together. They have another one on the way. They live together. He would like to be able to come to the courthouse to get the marriage certificate. He's already been online and taken a class that allows him to waive the 72-hour period between getting the license and actually getting married. So they could accomplish this all in one trip to the courthouse.
Can they do that today?
I think they would prefer to.
He's saying yes.
Would they do that today? Okay.
All right, so that
would be
problem
fine.
is solved. You have any objections? Because he's already hit the courthouse. All right, so problem solved. See, we try to solve problems here.
No,
So
we're-
what's the next issue?
The other one is he'd like to attend church, Judge, and it's actually a different one from the one that's in the motion that he'd like to attend. The one he would like to attend with his fiance and after today wife would be the Community Bible Church on 2477 North Loop 1604 East.
Just 1 second. Could you repeat the address?
Yes. 2477 North Loop 1604 East. San Antonio, Texas. 78232.
All right, and what day?
Just every Sundays, and I believe the services are at 11 a.m.
11 a.m. to what?
Would it be about noon, probably an hour to an hour and a half?
Yes, Your Honor. Plus travel time to about 1 o'clock. It's not too far from mine. It's really close.
All right. So then that would put it probably 10:30 a.m. to leave the house and 1 p.m. for church and then return by 1 p.m.
Yes.
All right, so that's what he's asking for?
Yes.
Asking for anything else?
No.
State.
State's opposed, Judge, just due to the nature of the case, and the state would offer the police report in this case, which is what we were rendering to defense at the start of this hearing.
No objection.
Judge, one thing the state would want to point out is that the offense did occur in a church parking lot. It was after hours. I will give you that, but again, this is safety of the community. We fired on 2 officers who were sitting in their patrol car.
All right. And I understand these are all allegations, so just let me read what has been submitted.
And if I could get a chance to respond after. Judge.
Oh, yes. All right. Is there anything else for me to review or just argument?
Just argument, Judge.
All right. Defense?
Judge, I know that what you've read, that what you just read is a very serious allegation. However, if it becomes necessary, we do look forward to contesting these charges at the appropriate time and place, and that obviously would not be today. But I would also point out that you've allowed Mr. Ashbaugh some small allowances in the past. He's always complied with those perfectly from my understanding. He's been on GPS full house arrest for, I think, about 2 years at this point, about 1.5 years while the case was pending at intake, and about 6 more months up till now. There, to my understanding, there's been no violations of his pretrial conditions. He's abided by them perfectly, to my understanding. And this is just, I mean, he's been subject to full house arrest, not able to go anywhere for basically a full 2 years at this point. It's just one small concession. I don't see any issue with it, Judge. And we would just ask the court for permission to do this.
All right. And state the court is aware of your concerns. From reading state's exhibits, if I take everything in state's exhibit to be true, for purposes of this hearing, it appears that the allegation has absolutely nothing to do with the location, and the church that he's seeking to attend is actually not that church. Am I correct?
You're not wrong, Judge.
All right. So the court will allow him to attend church if the church is made aware of these charges and the church have no objection. When I say made aware of these charges, what he's charged with and where the incident is alleged to have taken place. And if they come back to the court and they say, we're aware of this and we have no objection to him attending our church, then the court will allow it. But I'll need that information before I do that. So once that's given to me, I will allow it. If it's not given to me, it's not going to be allowed. So for today, you're allowed to go downstairs because you're already at the courthouse and the state has no objection for you to get your marriage license and do all of that. Yes.
I didn't bring in the paper that has the class with the 72-hour waiver today. Do you think they would be able to print it off of my email or get it via email?
That's possible, or you can always have an attorney get someone to a district court judge to waive those hours. It will not be me though.
Yes.
All right. Is there anything else?
No, Judge.
All right. So then what we're going to do is we're going to come back here in June. And by June, we should all know where we stand as far as the plea deadline date. So Ms. Ferguson, can you set this in June for a plea deadline date? 30 days. And to the clerk, he's filed his notice. I've signed the motion where he's been substituted in on this case, but it's not in the system. He needs to be placed in the system so he can get discovery.
Okay, I'll need to look through the files and any paperwork that may be back there that was left, see if I can find it.
Here you are.
Because I can update it. He's busy, I'll update it in the system and he's on it.
Yeah. Okay.
I can do June 6th. Right?
All right, June 6th. And yes, he is the attorney of record.
Okay.
So once you sign the June 6th reset form, you're excused.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. There you go. And I guess the paperwork is back there somewhere.
Yeah, we'll find it.
All right, who's here on Bianca Angulo? Are you all ready to proceed on the motion to revoke?
Yes, Judge.
Long time no see.
Yeah, it's been forever.
All right, court is calling 2019 CR 10407, State of Texas versus Bianca Angulo. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
Defense?
Aresi Ronque for Ms. Angulo.
Are you Bianca Angulo? Did you review the document entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it? And are you the same Bianca Angulo who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2019 CR 10407 for the offense of possession of a controlled substance penalty group 1 less than 1 gram on February 24th, 2021 for a period of 4 years? Is that you? State.
Violated condition number 2 on or about the 24th day of March 2024 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant, Bianca Angulo, did then and there admit to illegally using a controlled substance, namely methamphetamine, in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
And Your Honor, that's the same violation in both motions. You want me to?
Oh, there are 2 motions?
Yes.
Okay. All right, we're also on the record in 2019 CR 10408. Again, did you review the document entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision with your attorney?
Yes.
All right. And are you the same Bianca Angulo who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2019 CR 10408 for the offense of possession of a controlled substance penalty group 1 less than 1 gram on February 24, 2021 for a term of 4 years? Is that you? All right. And do you plead true to violation of condition number 2 in that motion as well? And state, are you waiving all of the allegations?
We are, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No, Judge.
Did you understand in each cause number by pleading true to violation of condition number 1, court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to $10,000 fine? Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 2 in each cause number? Then in each cause number, the court will find violation of condition number 2 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
There is, Your Honor. We're asking that you adjudicate the defendant guilty, revoke her community supervision, and sentence her to 1 year in the state jail.
All right. And is that what you're requesting?
It is, Judge, and that the time be run concurrent, and she should have credit for time served in both cases. She has 480 in one case and 478, I believe, in the other, but she also did 9 months in safety.
All right, so, and the cause number ending in 08. Did she pay restitution to Waldo Castro?
I guess not, Judge.
Okay.
Judge, if you just give me one moment.
Sure. It's supposed to be restitution to Waldo Castro and Gilbert Ramirez.
Thank you. Judge, a amount of $99 for restitution was paid in 08.
Okay. And was there any restitution to Gilbert Ramirez that was due? All right. And what has she done on probation?
Your Honor, she was in drug court and she was doing fairly well in drug court. She was a couple of weeks from actually graduating and she relapsed. She completed the dual diagnosis residential facility and she completed safe P.
You want to raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Yeah.
All right. So what's going on with your life? Why didn't you successfully complete probation?
I got especially
Okay, you're gonna have to stop whispering. I can't hear.
I went around with the wrong people again. But I was doing very well. I was able to maintain a job. I actually still have my job. They put me on a leave of absence for now. I was renting my own house. I still have my house, thank God. But I had a setback. I relapsed.
All right, so there has to be more going on because felony drug court just doesn't kick you out because you relapsed.
I was mixed up with the wrong crowd again, and I'm not.
What does that mean, the wrong crowd?
I went back to the same people that I kind of distanced myself from.
But still, felony drug court, if you get involved with the wrong crowd, and I always tell people, when you say you're involved with the wrong crowd, if those people were before me, they would say, I'm involved with the wrong crowd. And I would ask them, who's the wrong crowd? And they'd say, Bianca.
So at the time, when I went on a 4-day jail sanction for coming up dirty. And so when I went on this 4-day jail sanction, I was talking to a guy, and I guess the guy that I was talking to, they got word of it. I'm not sure if it was from his ex. I'm not sure exactly how, but they got word of it. They and I know Judge Glenn had kind of like, I guess he already knew his name and everything. He told me not to contact him, but he was staying at my house while I went to the 4-day jail sanction. So when I went to the 4-day jail sanction, I did contact him, and that's when they decided to terminate me.
Well, what do you mean you did contact him? He's living with you.
Yeah, he was living.
Why is he living with you?
He wasn't at the time, he just didn't have anywhere to stay. He was there for about a week, and then my dad ended up going over that weekend when he found out that I was doing the 4-day jail sanction and kicked everybody out of my house. So
here's my question. What is your relationship with this person? No, I mean, when you had him staying at your house.
it was like a sexual relationship.
Okay, so this is what I don't understand, and help me understand. I understand that people fall in love, right? But I don't understand this thing that women are doing now and men are doing too. But you're female before me, so I'll just say what women are doing now. I don't understand why women are having grown men live in their house. They don't have a job, so they're not bringing anything to the table. All they're doing is taking resources. They take the food because they don't have a job. They send you off to work. They don't clean because they feel like a woman should be doing the cleaning and the cooking, and they bring nothing to the table. I mean, are women so desperate now for men that they're just like, you know what? I know you don't have a job. I know you have no means of supporting yourself and you're a grown man, but come live with me. Is that where we fall into? That we're so desperate to have a man in our life that we would risk going to the state jail facility for 2 years to have a man in our life. And the thing about it is, I know with felony drug court, they probably told you more than one time not to have contact with him.
They told me that weekend because it was that week that they found out about him. I had just known him a couple weeks.
Okay, and here's the other thing. You know somebody for 2 weeks and next thing you know, they're living with you. You know, that's how children end up getting killed. Let me just tell you, in my experience as a prosecutor and defense attorney, you know what ends up happening? A woman will go out, meet some guy at a club on Friday, and instead of that guy having enough money to take them to a hotel or motel, they just come back to the lady's house and they never leave. I'm like, this is just, I don't understand why people do that. You met some guy that you barely knew, and next thing you know, a complete stranger is living in your house. And in my day, you are the person that they used to do after school specials for. You're just a walking Lifetime movie waiting to be happening. And you know what? Mom and I will sit and watch that Lifetime movie. And you know what we'd say? Oh no, there's no way somebody would let a complete stranger who has no job move in with them. This can't be a true story. And then you know what happens in the Lifetime movie? The screen goes black, and then you got a law named after you. So I don't know why I should just give her a year for disobeying the rules of felony drug court. And I don't think it's just one time. Felony drug court doesn't do this thing, because I used to be an attorney in felony drug court. If I were in felony drug court, they would say, Stephanie, we don't want you having contact with John Doe, because John Doe is a drug user. John Doe sells drugs. Don't have contact with him. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then they catch me with John Doe. You know what they do? They don't kick me out of drug court. You know what they say? Hey, this is the last time we're going to tell you. We're giving you this amount of time to get John Doe out of your apartment. And if you have issues with John Doe getting out of your apartment that's in your name, here's an attorney for you. They will do the necessary things and tell you what you need to do to have that person removed from your apartment. I know they did that. And I don't think you told them John Doe was living with you. I think you were shocked. They learned he was living with you.
Okay, so I didn't tell them. I did try to lie about it in the beginning, but when I went in to talk to the judge, I already knew what it was about. I didn't know what it was about.
Because you know they found out.
They didn't find out he was living with me, but I let them know that day because I just knew that he pulled up the records. I know how Judge Flynn is, and I know they've given me multiple chances, and so they had to tell me that was it. And I understand that I was in there for 3 years, so I know Elsa knew me very well.
And do you have children?
I have 2 children there with their dad.
And you letting this man come in your house just put your children before that man. Were you planning on ever having visitation with your children? And then you know what would have happened? You would have had visitation with your children, and that man would have been there, a complete stranger. And children are always dependent on their parents to alert them to danger and not bring danger to him. And you know how children sometimes end up getting abused and murdered because parents are letting complete strangers come live with them. And that same guy that you have who's not working, and then he sends you off to work and you leave your children with a complete stranger. That's what happens. All of this because people have, I guess, no self-esteem for themselves or lowering their standards. Let me help you out. At some point, you know what the bare minimum standard you should have if you're getting involved with the guy? Unless he is super wealthy, that person needs to have a job. You don't need to be supporting an adult male. You're not even supporting your children, but you're supporting a grown man. I'm not going to give you a year. All right. I'm finding 2 true in each case. And I'm going to sentence you to 18 months in the state jail facility. Finding you guilty. Give you credit for any time served.
Does that include the safety?
Did she successfully complete it?
It's my understanding.
Probation, did she successfully complete safety?
Yes, sir. And I believe DDR.
Okay. I'll give you credit for safety because you successfully completed. And I'll give you credit for DDRF. Did she successfully complete DDRF?
Yes.
All right, now I'll give you credit for that. Did you review in each case the trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it? All right, because this is not a plea bargain agreement, you do have a limited right to appeal. And that right to appeal is as it relates to the allegations in the motion, not the fact that you were on deferred adjudication. Do you understand? All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. You are an adult. If you want to do silly things and risk your life by moving in complete strangers in your house, you can do that. But the problem is when you have children, then children end up with complete strangers. And people will always tell me they will not allow drug addicts or whoever to babysit their children. That's what you do when you move a complete stranger, a grown man who doesn't have a job. Have some standards and don't go past those standards and don't ever let complete strangers come and live in your apartment. You understand? All right, good luck to you, okay? And when you get out, if you still have issues and you want some help with drug treatment, you can always come back to court and I'll find a place for you, okay? All right, good luck to you. All right, who's here? Juan Aramba? Hello. Hi. I like your singing voice, by the way.
Thank you, Judge.
All right.
Appreciate that.
It's awesome. And I love what you sing too. Yeah. I always listen on Sirius. Sometimes I'll listen to the classical channel or the Sinatra channel. They have the Sinatra channel.
Seriously, Sinatra.
Yes.
Yeah, it's great.
And they play more than just Sinatra.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of jazz. I love jazzy, sort of like the 40s style. All right. So the Laredo discovery was uploaded.
We got it. We finally, yes, Judge, after I would say a few hoops, we were able to retrieve the Laredo evidence, Your Honor. I think we're about 95% good to go on discovery.
Mhm.
The remaining 5% is already in the works. There's a brief mention in one of the interviews, only a sentence, about some potential school related things that we would like to get records on. And it is already in the works, Your Honor. And that is, I believe, the last remaining piece of the greater puzzle.
All right. So the complainant in this case, is it alleged to be a relative or child, a stepchild or something of that nature?
Yeah, family relationship, yes. Sir.
All right. So was Child Protective Services involved?
There was initially some CPS involvement, judgment that dates back to 2021. There may be some records.
All right. So then you all need CPS records?
Yes, Judge, but it's I think that the CPS records are encompassed here in Bexar County, so it shouldn't be that hard for the state to.
I'll triple check the pros guide. There was no I think this is more on the newer side of things, so we'll batten down the hatches there. That will be done within that last 5%. I don't think there's gonna be any outstanding CPS. If and when there is, I'll come off docket and give the agreed protective order, Your Honor, to the court.
Judge, I do want to compliment the state's efforts. We had been to court at least 3 times previously, and after he got on the case, we got that Laredo report pretty readily. So, yeah.
Yay.
Well, can I?
Yeah,
I love
you're
watching
blushing,
people
yeah.
judge.
All right, so what I'm gonna do is we're gonna come back for one final discovery. This will be the final discovery. Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 30-day reset on Juan Aramba, please? June 4th?
Judge, do you have anything the week after that? Just because I might be just coming back.
All right, can you do something later than the 4th?
Just a little bit after.
I can do the 10th.
That works perfectly.
All right, we'll come back on June 10th. Thank you for dressing appropriately for court. Once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Judge,
All right,
Judge,
thank
have
you.
a wonderful day.
Oh, thank you. Yes. Yes, they'll run concurrent. Sure, they're running concurrent. And can you make sure that's run concurrent?
Yeah, she's writing.
Okay, all right, thank you.
They're confirmed.
All right, who is here on Kevin Luna? All right, Kevin Luna, come down, please.
Fine. I'll be minutes exhibit number 1. I showed it to Mr. Variant. He has no objections to forensic report. But I'd like included in the file.
Okay, just at the appropriate time when I take into evidence the steps, just offer that. Okay. Court is calling 2022 CR 6188, State of Texas versus Kevin Giovanni Luna. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garrett, Your Honor.
Defense?
Audio Delfano.
Are you Mr. Luna? Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
Yes, sir.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Lunan, did you review the document entitled True Bill of Indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it? Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment? State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No, we're not. We're proceeding on the lesser included murder.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Lunan, did you review the document entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes.
Did you understand the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of murder? The range of punishment for that offense is anywhere from 5 to 99 years or life in prison and up to $10,000 fine.
Yes, sir.
If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights? And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case? Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him? Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense? Mr. Luna, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea? Anyone promised you anything other than the plea? Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented? Are you a U.S. citizen? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
According to the plea, the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of murder. Punishment is to be assessed at 40 years in the prison. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. There are no applications, and they're taking in consideration 2023 CR 1287. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State,
It is, Your Honor.
did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places? Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand? Counsel, have there been any such motions?
There have been motions filed that have not been ruled upon.
Right. Then to the offense of murder, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? State any evidence.
Yes, Your Honor. State exhibit number 1 with all of its attachments, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No objections.
Defense, any evidence?
Your Honor, we offered defense exhibit number 1, a 25-page report from Dr. John Fabian. We've shown it to Mr. Garahan. He has no objections. The conclusion of Dr. Fabian's report states that Mr. Luna has a
I'll get to that.
Okay.
So I just want to
Okay.
read to see for sufficiency. So there's no objection to defense exhibit number 1?
That is correct. No objection.
All right. Then the court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and defense exhibit 1. The court will find that defendant has, I'm so sorry. Mr. Luna, did you review the waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations with your attorney?
Yes.
Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places? All right, the court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and defense exhibit 1, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing? All right, anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Honor, the states exhibit 1. Into evidence with no objection. Dr. John Fabian, the conclusion of his report, after his examinations, Mr. Luna he suffers from a tri-diagnosis of brain disorder, mental illness, and substance abuse addiction. And his recommendation is to be placed in the therapeutic unit at TDC. And we would ask the court if the court could include that in the file, and if the court could make a recommendation to the therapeutic unit.
All right, is there anything you wish to say, Mr. Luna? All right, the court will follow the agreement, sentence you to 40 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served, take in consideration 2023 CR 1287. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. Is there anything else from either side with regards to sentencing?
For the record.
All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it? All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, and because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? All right, and the court will also request the therapeutic community or mental health community at the prison.
Thank you.
The way that works, I have no jurisdiction to force them to place you in that. You'll have to request it as well, and then it'll be completely up to TDC whether or not they do that. Do you understand? All right, we can go off the record. Mr. Lunan, I always tell people anytime that people serve is a lot of time, even a day, that's a lot of time. And with you, it's 40 years. How old are you? You're 20. And so you will still have a chance when you are released to live your life. All right. But there's somebody who's dead and their life is over. You understand? So you need to take advantage of whatever they have at the prison that's available for you to better yourself. And you need to go to prison and not become institutionalized. Do you understand? All right. Is there any victim impact?
There's 2 shortly this year.
All right. So what's going to happen next is there are going to be 2 people to speak to you, and they are related to the victim in this case. And they are probably going to voice to you how they feel about things. I always require everyone to treat everybody with respect. So just listen to what they have to say and internalize it. Okay. All right. Thank you. Deputy.
I really want you to better your life. You're still alive. Start making good choices. You really took something important from us. Very important. I took care of that kid alone. We went through shit too. And it hurts me every day since he left. He's not here. It affects him the biggest impact of my life because he was close to me. Not only to me, my kids. He had nieces and nephews. He literally, I'm a single mom and he was always there with me. To support me and be there with me all the time for everything. It has not been easy to be alone now. I feel alone without him. Not only him, like my dad too, he feels anger, he feels a lot of things that is not right. Your life. It was more than just my husband, my family. You took away someone so important to our family, to our friends, to the world. He wanted to save lives. He doesn't push you. You took that way. Because I know how great of a person he was and will always be, he would want us to bring him. Even though it is hard, so hard every day to keep moving forward without him. It's just like, I'm a single parent, and he was the one that was there for me and my daughter. He was the one there as a father figure for her. My daughter has to go through this every day too. Him not being here. And it's not just us. It's not just us. There's so many people he impacted. He's an amazing person. And I don't know what to look for. But if he had just given him a chance, he would have helped you. He would have done whatever he could. He would have done whatever. He would have been a friend. He would have helped you. He didn't give him a chance. All he ever wanted to do was help people. And I hope this lives with you, and I hope it's a reason for you to change. You get a life. You get a life after this. It's a song. I hope you do what's right. I hope you get your life together. I hope this is a learning lesson for you. Because you're not just impacting us. You're impacting your own family. You're impacting everybody. I really hope this is a learning lesson.
Thank you. Yes. All right, Ashley Hernandez.
Ready to.
Hello. Are you all ready to proceed on the motion?
Yes, ma'am.
Court is calling 2023 CR 9542W, State of Texas versus Ashley Marie Hernandez. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
Defense,
Jay Moritz, Your Honor, for Ms. Hernandez.
are you Ashley Marie Hernandez? Did you review the document entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision with your attorney? And did you understand it? Are you the same Ashley Marie Hernandez who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2023 CR 9542W for the offense of possession of a controlled substance penalty group 1 to 4 grams on October 24, 2023 for a period of 4 years? Just one moment off the record. Okay. All right, we're back on the record. State.
Violating condition number 4 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Ashley Marie Hernandez, the then and there failed to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of January and February of 2024 in violation of condition number 4.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
Your statement is all their violations.
Any objections to the waivers?
No, Judge.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 4, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to 10 years in the prison and to $10,000 fine? Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 4? Court will find violation of condition number 4 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, it's proposed agreement is revocation and 4 years TBC.
Is that the agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you waiving your right to appeal?
Okay.
All right. Probation on Miss Hernandez. What is probation's recommendation?
Or amend or state ISF.
All right. All right, you're asking that I sentence you to the 4 years? Do you have children or no?
I do, but I have no I haven't had custody of them in so long.
All right, how old are they now?
My twins are 14 and the baby's 13, and I have an 18-year-old.
All right, the court will grant the motion. The court will find you guilty. The court will sentence you to 4 years in the prison. Give you credit for any time served. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. Would you like to be referred to the therapeutic community? It doesn't increase the time that you're in custody. It's just to help you with any drug issues that you may have. All right. And I'll request the therapeutic community. Is there anything else with regards to sentencing from either side?
No, Judge, just, she has 104 days as of today.
All right. Did you review the trial court certification of defendants' rights to appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it? Right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. Obviously, you have a drug issue. So when you go to the jail and then go to the prison, don't become institutionalized. When you get out, you need to make sure that you go to an AA meeting or an NA meeting. They have plenty of places that are free. If you can't find a free place, you can always come back here and I will direct you to a free place, okay? All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Who's here on Dominic Hasenbuehler?
Hasenbuehler.
Yes.
Hasenbuehler.
Hasenbuehler, where's he?
He's in custody, Judge. He just took a plea bargain downstairs in 12.
Okay,
And that's
awesome.
what caused the
It's a fun name to say.
I don't know. I'll check and see. All right, who is John Horton? All right. And where is Mr. Horton? All right, before we go on the record, are you court appointed or no?
No, Your Honor, with me.
All right, court is calling night mag number 741269, State of Texas versus John Horton. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Doug Dunn for the state, Your Honor.
Defense?
Mario Moreno for the.
And are you Mr. Horton?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, are you understanding that your attorneys wish to withdraw from your case?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any objections to that?
No, ma'am.
All right, that will be granted. Counsel, you're excused.
Thank you, Judge. Before I leave, I guess on behalf of Mr. Horton, just one last little throw out to the court.
Yeah, I mean, you're excused, so you're not his attorney.
I understand.
So if you wish to speak now, then you will be his attorney.
Well,
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Horton. Mr. Horton, are you going to be able to retain an attorney, or do you need to be interviewed for court appointment? All right, we're going to make sure you get one. Just have a seat, okay?
Okay, and I have a court appointed attorney that's handling two misdemeanors and possession of controlled substance taken felony out of your court. His name is James Sullivan.
All right, they will look and see.
Is there any way I can get my bond reinstated on this?
You will have to have your attorney file a motion, and then Judge Nahara will hear that, okay?
Okay.
But we're going to expedite everything for you, all right?
Okay.
All right, thank you. Norma, if you can check the system. Willie Cunningham. Good morning. Thank you for dressing appropriately for court. All right, so we are here and the state is to make an offer.
Yes, Your Honor, I was advised from above, if you will. And we were able to communicate an offer today.
Okay.
And we received it and would like, if the court would allow time to consider it. If you
Oh, I will.
The deadline.
So then the next thing is the court needs the acknowledgement of discovery signed.
Sure. Yeah, we can get that started right now, Judge.
All right, how old are you? All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 30-day reset for a plea deadline date on Cunningham?
Yes, ma'am, I can do June 4th.
All right, so on June 4th, when you come back to court, you need to let the court know whether or not you're accepting the state's offer. You understand? All right, is there anything else?
Nothing else, sir.
All right, once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Thank you.
Thank you. Dii Yoro. Hello.
How are you doing, Your Honor?
Oh, I'm doing great. Are you all ready to proceed on the motion to revoke?
Really?
Court is calling 2022 CR 8978 State of Texas versus Dii Yoro. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
Defense?
Written out from the defense.
Are you Mr. Yarborough?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you review the document entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision with your attorney, and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you the same Dii Yarborough who's placed on deferred adjudication in 2022 CR 8978 for the offense of burglary of a habitation with intent to commit a felony on September 28, 2023 for a period of 10 years. Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
State.
Violated condition number one, on or about the third day of November twenty twenty-three in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant, Dii Yoro, committed the offense of driving while intoxicated in violation of condition number one.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
Your Honor, state waives all of the violations.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number one, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to life in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number one?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number one true. Is there a proposed agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, it's the moral recognition that there be bi-weekly reporting in 90 days of random meetings.
That's the agreement, Your Honor.
All right, what is happening with the DWI?
Judge, the first appearance is on the 14th of May. I have incomplete discovery in that case. I'm appointed to that case.
Okay. Probation. What is your recommendation?
Therapy by reporting and 90 days of UAC and Dii Yoro.
Okay. All right, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand. State your name for the record.
Bianca Angulo.
All right, what have you done since you've been on probation?
My business certificate, I'm now a student for San Antonio College. I have my student ID. I took my TSA, and all I have to do is sign up for classes.
Okay, all right, that's good. So here's the thing. There are other things that you need to start working on too, like your parenting classes. Like, I'm not, you've already pled true to the DWI, so that means that you were drinking. You're not allowed to drink on probation. I think I tell everybody that, or at least a majority of the people, when they're before me on a specific case. Doesn't matter if you're drinking in your house. Doesn't matter if you're drinking in your backyard. Everybody who's on probation, you're not allowed to drink alcohol. So do you realize by drinking alcohol, you're basically saying, oh, I'm okay with doing life in prison. I'll take this drink of alcohol. Do you understand? You're going to have to grow up and realize can't drink alcohol, can't smoke marijuana, can't do any of this on probation. That's what being on probation is. You don't have the same rights and privileges that other people have. You understand? You have a contract with this court. I know you have an agreement with the state. Probation has given me their recommendation, but it's really up to me. So even though they've agreed that you be continued, I could revoke you and send you to prison right now for life. You understand? Do not come back here for this nonsense. We're always here in the 187 to help people if they need help with drug or alcohol or whatever, or you have some issues. Pick up the phone, call probation, and we'll see what we can do. But you are not allowed to drink. Do you understand? From here on out, everything that you do, you need to ask yourself, could this potentially result in me going to prison for life? If the answer is yes, don't do it. If the answer is maybe, don't do it. If it's like, I don't know, pick up the phone, call probation. You understand? All right, this is what the court is going to do. Court is finding violation of condition number one true. Are you employed?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. How much is the UA hotline?
Your Honor, your analysis will be worth $10 to $20. And depending on how often the life is tested.
All right. Is there any other issue with him other than this alcohol? Don't report, you could go to prison. You understand?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
So this is what the court is going to do. The court is finding number one true. The court will deny the motion. Court is going to alter and amend conditions to include the following. There's to be 90 sober meetings in 90 days. There's you to report to probation. One time, probation is one time every 2 weeks, too much for you all? All right, you're gonna report to probation one time every 2 weeks for 60 days. If you miss reporting, they're gonna file a motion to revoke. Do you understand? Now, the MRT, that's to help you make better decisions. Do you need help on how to make better decisions? All right. If you do, let me know. We'll give you something. All right. So, and the MRT probation, is there anything else? Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful? All right. That's the court's ruling. We can go off the record, make better decisions. Otherwise, you may find yourself at the prison.
Yes, ma'am.
And when you go to prison, people will ask you, what are you here for? And you're going to say, well, I drank alcohol or I didn't report to probation. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Good luck to you.
Thank you so much. God bless you.
Oh, thank you. God bless you too. Okay. Good seeing you, bud.
Good seeing you.
There you are. Thank you. Have a good one. Who's here on Gus Gyos? All right. Has it been brought out?
Judge, he was found incompetent
Okay.
about 3 weeks ago on both cases.
All right. Ms. Ferguson, on Gus Gallego. They're probably not going to send him to state hospital. So if you can recall this for 60 days.
At the beginning of July.
Yes.
Judge, I got a vacation, I'll be out of the country until July 10th.
July 10th. All right.
Last day of vacation.
All right. So July 18th. All right. We'll recall you for July 18th. You're welcome. Okay. All right. Thank you. Mr. Horton, James Sullivan is on all the other cases. All right. Just have a seat. The deputies will let you know when they want you to move about, okay? Everyone, we're taking our recess at noon, so move with a purpose. Yes, that's already been done. Yeah, because that, the attorney.
50,000, right? Because you said the bond is 50,000.
It should be in the back. I can't tell you the amount, but yeah, it's been done.
No, I don't know what Norman has been up to now. So I'm trying to keep caught up with myself. This is one of the files that we put.
Who's here on Lee Martinez?
I am Judge. He's present.
Okay.
He's on bond.
All right, is this going to be a plea?
It is.
Thank you for dressing appropriately for court. Court is calling 2021 CR 9487, State of Texas versus Lee Martinez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor, and just so the court's aware, we kind of got a little bit down the road with doing the plea with Judge Angelini last week, and so that's kind of.
Okay, all right, I'll just start from the very beginning.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. And defense.
Mr. Martinez.
And are you Mr. Martinez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery? Did you review it with your client?
I have, I'm sorry. Discovery.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Martinez, did you review the document entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it? I'm sorry. Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, I did.
All right. Did you review the document entitled True Bill of Indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, I did.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Martinez, did you review the document entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 2, 4 grams to 400 grams? That's a second-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand? Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights? And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yeah.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand? Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
We've discussed them many of them.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Martinez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented? Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yeah.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, I did.
According to the plea, there's a $2,000 fine probated. State recommends deferred adjudication. They're taking in consideration 2021 CR 9488. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, I did.
Defense, is that the plea?
Yes, Judge.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, I did.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Outside the agreement, the state is recommending that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 6 years. There be a TAP evaluation and 200 hours of community service restitution. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
I understand.
Then to the offense as charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest. Your Honor.
State, any evidence?
Your Honor, I offer State's Exhibit 1 in the attachments.
Any objection?
None, Your Honor.
Did you review the document entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
I did, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
I understand.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
I did.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you ready to proceed with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Mr. Martinez has been totally cooperative. He's in touch with me throughout. I wish other clients was communicated with as he was. I believe he's a good candidate for deferred. I have no doubt that he will be successful. I have no doubt that he will complete all the conditions, whatever conditions you may place on him in a speedy manner. And I anticipate him coming back for only one reason and ask for early termination.
All right, are you employed?
Yes, I am.
What do you do?
So you had a small car lot.
Okay. Do you have any children?
I do.
What are their ages?
9, 6, and 3.
Do they live with you?
Not at the moment.
What does that mean, not at the moment?
I live with my mother right now.
Okay. If you drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
Negative.
We can drug test you today. So you're saying it's going to be negative?
Yes.
All right.
I just took a drug test for pre-trial last week and it was negative.
All right.
And I haven't. And so it'll be negative.
Okay. So are you ready to do a drug test now?
Yes.
All right. So we'll do a drug test and we'll come right back. This is not for me to sign.
Mr. Martinez is here. I think he has a 2 sections. Oh, there's good.
Oh, just hold on. Let me read it.
She's reading. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, and I'm sorry, could I have another file? I'm missing 9488 on this case. Lee Martinez. And I'm not done with that one yet. Okay, I'll take this up, just see what follows. Camila Galan. Hello, thank you for dressing appropriately for court.
Thank you.
All right, today's plea deadline date. I mean, today is the plea deadline
I
date.
understand. We don't have any.
All right, so you're rejecting the offer?
If the offer has been made, yes, we.
All right, so we need to,
Some ideas, but we haven't done that.
all right, so we need to set it for jury trial. So if y'all would confer with Ms. Ferguson on a jury trial date,
Yes. Perfect.
and I need an acknowledgement of discovery. All right, thank you. Just have a seat. You're welcome. And everyone, I'm going to take a 2-minute break. I'll be right back. No, they are taking one into consideration. I don't know, the one they're taking in consideration is one that's been indicted according to their plea bargain agreement. Wait a minute. Yes. That one. Oh, you're the part. Come on. We're looking at you. You got something?
trying to get this one together.
Hold on, I have 2 files over here. They're supposed to plea on 21 plus the 9 for the 7. Okay. And then I was just CIC 21 CR 9. Maybe we already.
What it looks like.
It does. It's extra. Oh, okay. So.
Then I'll break that. Yeah, if you have let me be ready to run on it, so if it's a second for the thing, it's current first. Yeah. If you want to bear the kid. All right.
Oh, please be seated. No, I don't.
Okay. And then send these to Barbara?
Yeah, just scan it to her.
All 3 papers?
Yes, and then you can give it back to me. Thank you. Oh, were you all able to confirm a court date for jury trial with Norma?
Not yet, Judge.
Okay, I think he's in the hallway. All right, anyone who's ready, let me know.
I'm gonna swear one in right now.
All right, thank you. Hi,
Good morning, Judge.
good morning. How's it going?
You put a file in front of you.
As soon as it's here, I will take it up.
Rosado?
Everyone, we're taking our break at noon.
You've been doing it a long time. Oh.
Trying to trouble.
Rafa Respi. Hello, thank you for dressing appropriately for court. Court is calling 2021 CR 0908 State of Texas versus Ralph Aresi. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Zach, done for the state, Your Honor.
Defense,
Joseph Bateson.
are you Mr. Aresi? Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, everyone, please don't talk behind the court reporter. We're on the record. If you'll move it towards that end. Mr. Aresi, did you review the document entitled Application for Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
Did you review what's entitled True Bill of Indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it? Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Your Honor, we're proceeding on the lesser included.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
Did you review the document entitled Court's Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of assault, bodily injury, family
Yes,
as a Class A misdemeanor? The range of punishment is up to 1 year in the Bexar County Jail and up to a $4,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call, and the right to remain silent? Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Sure.
Did you understand, I'm sorry, counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Aresi, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea? Anyone promised you anything other than the plea? Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented? Are you a U.S. citizen? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 1 year in the Bexar County Jail. State recommends community supervision. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. There's to be no contact with the complainant. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes,
Did
Your
you
Honor.
understand defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State.
Yes, Judge.
Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to be designated as primary custodial parent?
I'm okay.
You want to talk to him about that? And then his attorney acknowledgement.
We're ready to proceed, Your Honor, and he has had a prior affirmative finding of any violence finding in the past.
Okay. Just 1 moment, please. Knowing the consequences of having an affirmative finding of family violence, do you still wish to proceed with the plea? All right, did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places? Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 2 years. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the lesser included offense, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence.
Yes, Your Honor. State offer states 1 and attachments.
Any objection?
No, none.
And state, have you spoken with the complainant?
We have made repeated attempts and we've been unable to contact her. Your Honor.
All right. Did you review the waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it?
Yes.
In all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial? A right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent? Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there would be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept in the evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. And if you show defense. So if it's not available, you can print it out if there's not going to be any objection to.
Yeah, in Your Honor, and I apologize if I'm a little bit slower today.
Oh, no, you know what?
Given that
You're
it's-
correct. You're correct.
Okay, but I
Thank you.
very much appreciate it, Judge.
No, I appreciate that.
Yes, ma'am.
Because it's not a second anymore. I was going by it
Yes,
being a
ma'am,
second.
absolutely.
All right. It's gonna be one of those days. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
We ask that you follow the recommendations for community supervision.
All right, the other assault, sir, that you had, is that the same complainant? Who is that?
The most recent one was my sister.
Okay,
The one prior was the mother of my child. That was 14 years ago.
all right, why are you hitting your sister?
Got into an argument. I said to mind your business. She don't like my business. So we escalated.
I'm sorry, you're mumbling, I can't hear you.
We were arguing back and forth. It was over her misunderstanding of what I was doing, and it just escalated from there. When we got into the argument, it got physical, and in my defense, I struck and I didn't know what to do. But truly deeply sorry that it happened with her. Whatever I did, I could go back in time and take it back. I would. My sister very dear.
All right, so this all happened because y'all were arguing over the fact that each of you thought the other one was an ugly baby at some point in your life?
No.
I mean, that's what it says in the steps.
It's making a remark off of another child picture, and she just took it from me talking about her children when I wasn't.
No, she says that in the police report, it says that there's a photo. You said it was an ugly baby, which was her. That's what she's saying. It was her. And so she told you you were an ugly baby as well. And then all of this happened over each of you saying.
I guess for me saying what the child was, it wasn't her child, it was another child.
Well, why are you calling anybody's baby ugly?
I
don't think there's a good explanation.
Yeah. They always say everyone has a beautiful, all children are beautiful and every mother has one. Every mom thinks their baby is beautiful. Hippos think their babies are beautiful. I think they are sort of cute.
I agree.
How old are you?
I'm 35. I just turned 35.
You're 35. And so this happened, what, when you're 31 or so? And I'm sure she's not returning your call because she doesn't want her brother to end up going to prison
I believe that's right.
over ugly baby photos, allegedly.
Yes, Your Honor.
You all are too adult for this nonsense.
I understand.
Do you have children?
Yes, ma'am.
How old are they?
He's 15.
And who is he with?
He's with you.
All right. Court is going to sentence you to 1 year in the Bexar County Jail, suspended and probated for 2 years. Court is going to find an affirmative finding of family violence. All right, the no contact with his sister. Here's the thing, it's going to be no contact with your sister. If she wants to have contact, then she needs to contact the state, and then the state will let me know. And then we can come in and see if I'll lift that. I don't know how that's going to work for the holiday seasons coming up. I guess y'all won't be able to spend Cinco de Mayo together, but all right, so there's to be no contact with Serena. That's with the C.
Yes, ma'am.
Aresi. Anger management. I should order you to a photography class because that's really what the photos, if they're beautiful or not, it's photoshopped or whatever they do now. Michelle?
Yes, sir.
What do we want to do about the alleged ugly baby photos? Does he need, is there a class to stop people from saying photos are ugly? I don't know.
No, Judge.
All right.
Nothing.
I'm going to give you the MRT course, and let me explain why I'm giving you the MRT course. Because obviously whatever you learned from the other family violence course, it didn't stick. So you need that. I don't want you to think that I'm just giving you conditions because I'm just giving them. I'm hoping it will change certain things. So it'll be the MRT. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. There's to be regular UAs. Are you employed? All right, proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. There's going to be 40 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to order parenting classes. Once you complete parenting classes, the community service hours will be deemed satisfied. And field visit one time. And then thereafter at probation's discretion. All right, is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
No.
All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it? All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing, at the end of the day, that's your sister.
Yes.
You're supposed to love and protect your sister, not hit on your sister. Because if something were to happen to her, you would probably be the first one chasing the hearse, right? You need to get control of your anger. And then hopefully your mom can be some kind of mediator. And when I say mediator, maybe your mom will have your sister contact the state, but you're not allowed to contact your mom and say, have my sister contact the state so I can come over for Cinco de Mayo or Thanksgiving. You understand?
Yes.
All right, if you need anything, we are here. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sure. Are we ready on Lee Martinez? Who's from Angelo Rosado? All right, if you come forward.
Morning, Judge. How are you this morning?
Morning, how are you doing?
Doing well, thank
You
you.
have a haircut.
I sure did.
Yeah. It looks great, but it looks great before too. How's everything going with Roy?
Much better. Thank you for asking.
Oh, that's good. All right, court is calling 2000. Oh, thanks for dressing appropriately for court. Court is calling 2024 CR 1902, State of Texas versus Angelo Rosado. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
Defense?
Michael J. Sawyer.
Are you Mr. Rosado?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor, I have.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Rosado, did you review what's entitled application for deferred adjudication or community supervision with your attorney?
Yes.
Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes.
Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney?
Yes.
Did you understand it?
Yes.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are, Your Honor.
Did you review the document entitled court admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes.
Did you understand you're charged with possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, less than 1 gram? That's a state jail felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes.
If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter a plea in this case?
Say that again.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea agreement in this case? Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine? Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Sure has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
In my opinion, I believe he does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Mr. Rosado, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented? Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
According to the plea, there's a $1,500 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes.
Defense?
Yeah, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Outside the agreement, the state is recommending that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 2 years. There be a TAP evaluation and 120 hours of community service restitution. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes.
Then to the offense as charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? State any evidence.
Your Honor, I offer State's Exhibit 1 in the attachments.
Defense has no objection.
Did you review the waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We are, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
I think the court needs to know is contained in the paperwork, Your Honor.
All right, anything you wish to say? All right, do you have any children?
Yes.
What are their ages?
5, 15, 18, and 19.
Do they live with you?
No,
When's the last time you had contact with them?
it's been a couple of years.
Why?
My youngest lives in Louisiana with her mom. My other two boys are older, out there and everything. And the other one, I just don't get along with the mom, so I just,
All right, do you pay child support?
yes.
All right, the reason why I ask that, because some people don't realize that when you're on probation, you're required to support your dependents.
Yes.
All right, are you employed?
Dealing with this now, I'm on.
When's the last time you had employment?
I'm a subcontractor, so, I get work as it comes.
All right, I require that everyone be employed on probation in this court unless they're receiving SSI or there's some reason why they can't work. You understand?
Yes.
All right, if your drug test is today, what are the results going to be?
That should be.
Well, why do you say you should be able to pass? Here's the thing, you've already pled to this.
Yes.
I'm trying to consider conditions for you so you'll be successful. Obviously, the state doesn't want to send you to prison because if they did, they wouldn't have offered this. So
I should have this.
what do you use?
I smell it. Yeah, this is a one-time thing.
Excuse me. Video, please.
It's still.
Trying.
Yeah, it's trying to.
All right, so what drugs have you used?
Like I said, that was a one-time deal. This normally I smoke. So.
Smoke what?
marijuana.
What do you mean this is a one-time deal?
What happened with this case, the charge?
So basically, you're telling me if I send you off in the world without any treatment, you will never test positive for cocaine. All right, because I'm telling you now is the time, if you need help with your drug issues, now's the time to do that. Well, no, I mean, either you need it or you don't.
Yes,
I mean, either you're gonna test positive for drugs today other than marijuana or you're not. So if we do a drug test right now, she's available to do a drug test. And I know people see the female probation officer and you think we can't get a drug test done. We just have a male come down and do it. So where are we on your UA? Is it gonna be clean or is it gonna be? All right, so what are you gonna be positive for?
No.
And what else?
Okay.
All right, so why are we playing these games? Not telling the truth, being dishonest to the court. Right? Why does it take me having to get probation to waste a UA on you when everybody's agreed for you to have deferred adjudication? All you have to do is come up here and tell me what your drugs are. So how often are you using cocaine?
It's not a good idea.
How often are you using cocaine? You knew you were coming to court today and you used cocaine. So how often are you using?
No, maybe. I can't give you how often because I don't do it all the time. Let's say if you want to put something on it, maybe once a month.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. There's a $1,500 fine that's going to be probated. He's going to do 90 sober meetings in 90 days. 2 years deferred adjudication. No unsupervised contact with minors. Who do you live with? All right, there's 120 hours community service restitution. I'm going to order parenting classes. Once he completes the parenting classes, that will be deemed satisfied. I'm going to want a TAP evaluation that can be out of custody. Follow recommendations. We're going to do the UA hotline until further notice. Proof of employment within 30 days. There should be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Field visits, 1 time per month for 3 months. And then at probation's discretion. Probation, is there anything else he needs? Thank you. There should be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Anything else probation? Is there anything else you need from the court?
No.
All right. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it? Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, we can go off the record. Honesty is the best policy in this court. If you have an issue, let probation know. If you feel as though they're not addressing it, you can always come to the court. You understand? And guess what? Anytime when you enter a plea, at least in this court, and the state has offered you deferred, it's past time for you to be dishonest, like, ooh, if I say this, what's gonna happen? They've already offered you deferred. There's no excuse or reason to come before me and be dishonest. You understand? All right, good luck to you. Thank you.
Judge, thank you. Have a good morning.
All right, you too. The attorneys on Lee Martinez.
Very good. And he had some good results.
Yes, I know. I'm happy.
So am I. And so is he.
All right, Mr. Martinez, they told me you were negative. I'm happy. All right, so we're back on the record in 2021 CR 9487. The court will sentence you to 6 years deferred adjudication. There's to be no contact with Vincent Palumbo. There's a $2,000 fine that will be probated. The court has informed me that 2021 CR 9488 has already been dismissed, but just in case something happens, I will notate on the docket sheet that that's being taken in consideration. There's to be proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular random UAs, TAP evaluation out of custody, follow TAP recommendations. Of course, if TAP is recommending inpatient treatment, we'll start with intensive outpatient treatment. There's going to be 90 sober days and 90 sober meetings in 90 days. 200 hours of community service restitution. And I'm sorry, do you have children?
Yeah.
And their ages again?
9 and 6.
All right, do they live with you? All right, 200 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to order parenting classes. Once he completes the parenting classes, the community service hours will be deemed satisfied. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. I'll reconsider that once you've at least done one parenting class, okay? Just let your attorney know. Field visits, 1 time per month for 3 months, and then at probation's discretion. Probation, is there anything else? It is Terrence Vincent Palumbo, Palumbo. I know I'm mispronouncing that. All right.
Sounds good to meet you.
All right, thank you. Is there anything else you need from the court?
He had a question. He's part of his conditions of pretrial was to have a GPS monitor. That's not a condition of probation, so that would be removed, correct?
Yeah, that's not part of the probation or.
All right. Then the court will order removal of GPS.
Thank you.
All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, I did.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, we can go off the record. In this court, to be successful in probation, communication is key. If you have an issue, let probation know. If you feel as though they're not addressing it, you can always come back to this court, okay? All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Norma, on Rudy Gonzalez, since he's found incompetent, that's gonna end up being state hospital, probably. So if I can have a 75-day reset. Okay. Just 1 second. Yes.
Mr. Cisneros came in, and he was set it for May 21st.
Okay, is it in the file?
Yes, it's
Okay.
written in the file.
All right, and what's the defendant's name?
Pedro Almanza, Plea.
Okay, which page is he on?
He is on. He's on page 7.
All right, and what date did you say?
You said, May 21st.
All right, thank you.
And then also Michael De Leon is on his way up. He's dealing with a murder case right now.
Okay.
But he said he's only applied for TTD and they're just still waiting.
Okay.
So I don't know if he.
Oh, yeah, I'll take care of that. That's that one. Sorry, Jen. No problem. Who's here on Edward Rodriguez? Court is calling 2024 CR 2941, State of Texas versus Edward Rodriguez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Parker Hill for the state.
Defense?
Nathaniel Navy for Mr. Rodriguez.
Are you Edward Rodriguez? Counsel, have you received all the discovery? Did you review it with your client? Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Rodriguez, did you review the document entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it? I'm sorry, not sign it, but did you review it with your attorney? Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Rodriguez, did you review the document entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places? Did you understand you're charged with injury of a disabled person, bodily injury? That's a 3rd-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. If you have a plea with the state, court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand? Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call in, the right to remain silent?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you are giving up those rights? And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case? Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine? Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, I do.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor. I actually filed a motion for a competency evaluation. He was found competent. And I had no objection to the report, and I've discussed the case multiple times with my client. And based on our interactions, I do believe that he is competent to stand trial. The only reason I did that was based on some concerns in the police report mentioned.
Mr. Rodriguez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea? Anyone promised you anything other than the plea? Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented? Are you a U.S. citizen? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it? According to the plea, the state is proceeding on the indictment as presented. They're recommending deferred adjudication. They're taking in consideration County Court Cause number 723831. There's to be a mental health evaluation, and you're to follow the recommendations, and there's to be no contact with David Rodriguez. Did you understand that to be the plea? Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places? Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand? Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Outside the agreement, the state is recommending that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 5 years. Did you understand that was a recommendation from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations? Then to the offense as charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? State any evidence?
Your Honor, the state offers state's exhibit number 1 and all attachments.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places? Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent? Did you understand that the state would be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence state's exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. After reviewing state's exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Sorry, proceeding with sentencing.
We would waive the assignment.
All right, anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, my client has.
Excuse me, just one moment. Excuse me. There's no hugging up in this court and kissing on each other. Miss, separate. Go to the other side. The other side of the courtroom if you want to remain in the courtroom. I don't know why people come in the courtroom kissing and hugging on each other. Is there no better place for that? And you all are not teenagers. All right. Yes.
Judge, my client's never been arrested for a felony before. I believe he will take this very seriously, complete it to the best of his ability. There were some that, as I mentioned earlier, mental health concerns, and I believe that's why the state recommended the mental health evaluation as part of his deferred adjudication. That way, if there are any concerns, those can be addressed. If there's not, then it's fine, and I believe he'll still comply with everything. But if there are, at least those can be addressed. My client would just like to get out, make the best of the situation, start working, and put this behind him.
All right. Do you have any children?
Yes, ma'am.
What are their ages?
16, 15, 6.
Are you receiving any type of care at the jail for mental health, taking any type of medications?
Okay.
Do you have a mental health diagnosis? I'm sorry?
All
right, so why are people in the police report saying you suffer from schizophrenia? Have you ever been diagnosed with schizophrenia?
No.
Do you know why they would say that?
Maybe it's just things that don't continue.
Well, it says in the police report that you were saying that victim 2 was a witch.
Alcohol was a factor that day, so.
I'm sorry, what?
Alcohol was a little factor that day, so I don't recall that.
All right, are you employed? What did you do in the past?
Was a carpentry work, plumber.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. The court is going to sentence you to 6 years deferred adjudication. There's to be no contact with David Rodriguez. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. There's to be 90 sober meetings in 90 days. Proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Field visits. One time per month for 3 months. Then at probation's discretion. I'm going to order 200 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to order parenting classes. Once you complete parenting classes, that will be deemed satisfied. There'll be a TAP evaluation out of custody. How long will it take to do a MIC evaluation? In custody or out of custody, both?
Depending on the initial interview.
All right, then I'll do a referral for Center for Healthcare Services. Probation, is there anything taken in consideration? County Court cause number 723-831. Probation, is there anything else?
Say that TAP is out of custody.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, is there anything else you need from the court to be successful? All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it? Because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? All right, we can go off the record. If there are any issues, let probation know. If you feel like they're not addressing it, you can always come back to court. Do you understand? All right. Thank you. Oh, thank you. God bless you too. All right, who's here on Alejo Aguirre? All right, come forward, please. And then after this, we're taking our recess.
Your stuff is up there.
Court is calling 2023 CR 2080B, State of Texas versus Alejo Aguirre. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
Defense?
Carl Basley, Your Honor.
Are you Mr. Aguirre?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the document entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you the same Alejo Jesus Aguirre who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2023 CR 2080B for the offense of theft 2,500 to 30,000 on May 2nd, 2023 for a period of 2 years? Is that you?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, state.
Violated condition number 4, on or about the 10th day of May, 2023 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant Alejo Jesus Aguirre did then and there fail to attend orientation at the Bexar County Community Supervision and Corrections Department in violation of condition number 4.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True, Your Honor.
And Your Honor, we waive the other violations alleged in the motion.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 4? Court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand? Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 4? Court will find violation of condition number 4 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
There is not, Your Honor. The state is asking for revocation and for the 2 years, Your Honor.
All right, defense, what are you requesting?
Your Honor, my client is requesting, notice that he didn't do anything on the court. He has agrees for that. He said there was a lot of issues going on in his life, had some mental health issues. He's asking the court to consider putting him back out on intensive supervision and doing some kind of drug classes while he's on supervision. I'll let my client.
You want to raise your right hand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record. All right, what do you wish to say?
At the time right now was. Shot 13 times. I've been out for 2 months right after.
Oh, well, let me stop you right there. So you're saying you were shot 13 times? All right, and you were in the hospital. When were you in the hospital?
I was shot a month after I was supposed to start my probation, and then I was in the University Hospital.
When were you released? All right, does anybody have proof that he was in the hospital?
I turned to all of this.
Well, so here's my question.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes, Your-
you're telling me you were shot in 2023 of May.
Yes,
When were you arrested for this?
for this case,
Yes,
like,
for the motion to revoke. No, here's your timeline that you're giving me. You're saying you were placed on probation in May 2023.
yes,
And then you're saying almost immediately thereafter, you were shot how many times? 13 times. And you were in the hospital for 2 months, correct? So I'll give you that from May, I'll give you June, July, August, 2023.
Yes.
So what have you been doing since August of 2023? And why didn't you pick up the phone and call probation?
no, you're absolutely right. I dropped the ball with that.
No, I'm asking you, why didn't you pick up the phone and call probation?
Still dealing with the after effects of that, my father passed away, and I got the boss. I don't know what other time.
All right.
I'm guilty.
His family did confirm to me, and they told me he had been shot.
Okay.
Some of his family members here, they did tell me that. I didn't know the exact date, but they did tell me, and he still has, I think, like 9 or 10 bullets.
Okay, but that still doesn't answer.
I'm just wanna make
No, 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 I believe what you're saying, counsel. All right, so I'm believing you that the family has informed you that he was shot and he's informing you that he's been shot. But what that means, if I give you, you were shot in May 2023, then I give you June, because maybe you're recovering, then I give you July, I give you August to recover. So that's August of 2023. From August 2023 till when you were arrested for this motion to revoke, nobody's had contact with you. So my question goes back to, why didn't you pick up the phone and call probation?
I messed up. I made it a bad.
Okay, I understand. All right. Okay, this is what the court is going to do. Court is going to grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you to 18 months in state jail facility, and give you credit for any time served. Did you review the trial court certification of defendants' rights to appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it? All right, you do have a limited right to appeal. That right to appeal is as it relates to the allegations in the motion, not the fact that you are on deferred adjudication. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to the attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, we can go off the record, sir. I always tell everybody in this court who's before me, we want you to succeed.
Yes, sir.
If there's an issue, all you have to do is pick up the phone and call probation. You could have picked up the phone and said, probation, I'm in the hospital. Or immediately when you got out of the hospital, call them. Okay? All right, good luck to you, okay? All right, everyone, we're going on recess. We'll be back at 1:30.
I did get his paperwork in right at the last minute at like 11:44. I was rushing it mostly because I have a Zoom with Bob Behrens and the investigator on the Christopher Davis trial that's going in here next week. And we kind of adjusted our schedule so that we could do the Zoom team meeting at 1:30. I was hoping I could do Jesus Garza.
He's the one that we brought over from federal custody.
All right, State, let's take up Mr. Garza.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Mr. Garza. And this is the person we brought over from federal custody?
This, yeah.
Okay. All right, court is calling 2021 CR 5548, State of Texas versus Jesus Garza. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
And probation, this is no application?
Thank you, sir.
All right. Ms. Kramer, have you received all the discovery? Did you review that with your client?
Yes, Judge.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Garza, did you review the document entitled True Bill of Indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it? Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Judge.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Your Honor, the state's waiving the repeat offenders against an allegation.
No objection, Judge.
All right, Mr. Garza, did you review what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions with your attorney, did you understand it? And did you sign it in all the appropriate places? Did you understand you're charged with felony in possession of a firearm? That's a third-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes.
If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine it and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent? Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Judge.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
He does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
He is.
Mr. Garza, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No,
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
no, ma'am.
Satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes.
Are you a U.S. citizen? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 8 years in the prison. State will take in consideration 2021 CR 550A and 2021 CR 5549A. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
Yes, Judge.
State?
Yes, Judge.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions? Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? State any evidence.
State officer states exhibit 1 in all attachments.
No objection, Judge.
Did you review the waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Judge.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No, Judge, just for purposes of the clerk, the time that he has already served in, but other than that, no.
All right, is there to be any concurrent with federal sentencing, or has he completed his federal sentence?
No, Judge, we thought he got 10 years on that federal case. He got 20. He has 18 years left to do, so he's already way eligible for parole, and I'm told that once the parole status is determined by the TDC, they will just transfer him back into the feds and he'll finish everything up there.
Okay. All right, the court will follow your agreement, sentence you to 8 years in the prison, taking consideration 2021 CR 550A, 2021 CR 5549A, and there's to be no contact with Victoria Maldonado. Is there anything else with regards to sentencing?
Yes, Judge, simply for the clerk's purposes, on the Bexar County system, it shows that he has 280 days. And then we released him on April 5th of 22 to the feds, and he's been in that custody ever since he came back here.
All right, I'll give him credit for time served plus credit for any time served in federal custody.
And I guess, Judge, just out of abundance of caution, yes, I don't know if we have the authority to order Aresi Ronque concur with the feds, but it can't hurt to say it.
I will put that in. What's the cost of them?
See, I don't know. See, the fed calls him, or that was the problem. I can probably get that from Jason, because he's been the one talking to the feds, and I can give that to the clerk if that's possible.
Yes.
What is that on?
And I'll put down to run concurrent with federal cause numbers. All right, so is there anything else with regards to sentencing?
No, thank you, Judge.
Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it? Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? All right, good luck to you. We can go off the record. You're gonna have to make better decisions. You have a lot of time to think about it, right? Do better, all right? Good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge, for
You're
taking the
welcome.